Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's rendition of the Ask the EO Vet. For those of you that don't know me, I am Dr. Janet Roark, and I'm a veterinarian in Central Texas, the Austin area. And I'm really excited to be here with you. I've missed the last couple of weeks because I've been in Portugal visiting a friend over there as part of a mastermind that I'm in, and it was absolutely beautiful there. I unfortunately missed 2 weeks of our Q&As. So I'm super happy to be back. If you're hopping in live and you have a question, go ahead and put that in the comments. And yeah, I will answer those questions. A couple of things going on this week. Starting tomorrow, we actually have the 7-day Happy Healthy Horse Challenge. It's one of the more popular things that I do. If you're a horse person, you'll definitely want to join it. We have 7 days with me. So you'll get 7 days with me. Every single day, we're going to be talking about a different aspect of horse health, starting off with gut health and nutrition, talking about joints and skin and coat health and all of the things over the course of hoof health, immune system. We're going to be covering everything over the course of 7 days. One of my favorite topics, I have 4 horses of my own. They'll be featured, of course, in some of the videos and things like that. And I'm just really excited to bring this to you. If you're a horse person, go ahead and hop on. It's $95 for 7 days with me. It's $95 with a vet for 7 days. Learning absolutely everything there is to know about horses and their health specifically, and how to help them using essential oils as well. If you don't have essential oils, that's okay. You're still going to learn a ton about all the things. So I'm really excited to bring you guys all the information that I've accumulated over the last 34 years of horse experience and the last 20 some odd years of being a veterinarian in the equine space as well. So super excited about that. All right. To answer some of your questions, we've got a question from Karma Kito. My 10-year-old daughter loves her animals. We live on the farm and wants to be a vet when she grows up. She especially loves her barn cats. And when we have some new litters of kittens, again this year. She's wondering why in every litter there seems to be 2 or 3 that get goop around their eyes and then they get stuck shut. Plus, she observed over time that the yellow striped ones that usually have it, we also have calico, black and white, etc., all in the same litter. Why? I don't know. It cut off your question, Karma. I'm sorry, but that is what we call the kitty crud, and it's just an upper respiratory infection that a lot of, if not all, kittens get. So basically, it has to do with just their immune system being very compromised when they're that young. And that's interesting that certain colors that seem to be more affected. It could be due to the parents, the genetic. There could be some genetic component. They could be younger. They might be the runts of the litter. Those usually tend to be affected more if they have a weaker immune system. They're going to be more susceptible to those upper respiratory infections. The whole litter probably gets it. It's just that some of them fight it off a little bit faster on their own than the others. And so the ones that take a little bit longer, they'll get those crusty eyes. Maybe the ones that their mama isn't cleaning as well, or that they haven't quite learned how to clean themselves. This is something that just happens. And honestly, it's part of how, kind of like when you send your kids to school and they get like every single cold that's going around, and then they come home and they're like, okay, and then they're good. And they probably never get it again. And it's part of building up their immune system. It's not anything that we worry about, and it's not anything that really you can do much about, especially if they're barn kitties. So what you can do though is warm lavender compresses. So you can do a drop of lavender in 2 cups of water dip a warm cloth in there, wring it out really well, and use that to clean up the eyes. That helps a lot, using a little bit of lavender to help ward off any inflammation and things like that, as well as like the histamine response that might be happening as a result of the respiratory infection. You can diffuse around them if you have a diffuser in your barn. That can be really helpful. Cardamom is one of my favorites to diffuse with kittens with respiratory problems, and that is just a really, I mean, those are my two favorite oils for those guys. Next question is from Kathleen. She says, is there an oil that would help our Mr. Kitten with stomatitis? So this is something that a lot of times you have to address with diet. Food is really helpful. You can also do acupuncture. It can be really helpful in these cases as well. I've had really good success with using myrrh, myrrh essential oil. Just make sure it's one that has the supplement facts on the bottle that's safe to use internally. And what you'll do is you'll do like 1 drop of myrrh in about 3 cc's, 3 milliliters of maybe some chicken broth or something like that. And you can actually syringe it into his mouth. It's going to be like painful. You might not like it, but you do that once a day, and it starts to clear up. A little bit of aloe vera juice can sometimes be helpful too. Some people will do a little colloidal silver in their water. Anything that's very cooling with that redness is going to be really helpful. Diffusing some lavender might be helpful as well. But your protein source needs to be a cooling type of protein source as far as food. And so doing something like rabbit or duck, very cooling foods, as opposed to maybe like a chicken or a beef-based food might be really helpful. Ashley says, what essential oils are good for cognitive health in an older dog showing signs of dementia, or canine cognitive disorder is what we call it. So we have some really, really good oils to help with that. We have our grounding blend, balance, which you can apply topically twice a day. It's already diluted, so you just do a drop or 2 on your hands, and you can put it kind of at the base of the head there, kind of like where the neck and the head meet, and then kind of over the hips as well. And that can be really helpful. The other oils that really help with memory and things like that are rosemary. I like to do rosemary and lavender together because sometimes there's some anxiety component of not really understanding what's going on. And then, you know, there's a lot of really good stuff you can use. I like to diffuse Serenity or lavender at night because usually there's like a disorientation around time and that sort of thing, and then just being very patient and understanding that can go a long way. But I usually start with balance or the Kids Blend Steady. Those are really great options as well. Jan says, is there an essential oil to help a cat stop licking fur off the legs? The litter change diet is chicken free. Thank you. So some cats are allergic to fish as well, so that would be another thing to consider. The other thing is making sure that really consider like what you're cleaning your floors with. Anything that, if there's a new cleaner or if there's any pesticides in the yard, if the kitty goes outside, if there's any fertilizers or pesticides in the yard on the leg specifically, usually that's like an allergic response or a contact type allergy. So they're kind of allergic to something that their legs are coming into contact with. So, investigating all of that, kind of eliminating that, wiping off the legs with a microfiber cloth with some lavender, kind of like what we talked about with those kittens, that a couple of drops of lavender in 2 cups of warm water, dip a microfiber cloth in there, wring it out really well, and then wipe the legs off to make sure it isn't a contact allergy. And then the lavender, Roman chamomile, frankincense, copaiba, helichrysum, all really good for the skin and supportive of the skin. So just diluting it to like a 1% dilution, since we're going to be using it with the cat. So making sure that you can also use the kids calmer blend that's got lavender and Roman chamomile in it. So it's really, really good as well. Oils for regrowing hair. If you're trying to regrow hair, lavender, rosemary, and cypress together are a really good combination. Again, diluted to 1% for a cat. Yeah, and same thing for you, Donna. Any suggestions for an oil that might ease an itchy tummy and paws for my dachshund seems to come from the long grasses, etc. So wiping them off when he comes inside, he or she comes inside, with a microfiber cloth, getting that contact, getting whatever pollen or anything is off of it as quickly as possible when they come inside, every time they come inside. So getting into that routine of doing that is going to be really helpful. Putting a drop of lavender in there or a drop of Roman chamomile while you're wiping before you wipe it off, it can be really helpful. You can also do internal oils. You can do a master blend of equal parts, so like maybe 10 drops each of frankincense, copaiba, lemon, lavender, and peppermint, and then just take 1 drop of that mixture. So it would be like 1/5 of a drop of each of those, and mix it with your food once or twice a day. That can kind of help that as well. Making sure that we have good probiotics as well as digestive enzymes in the diet as well. Teresa, can I diffuse peppermint and or lavender with dogs and cats around? Yes, most likely you can. Just make sure that you stick with 3 to 4 drops of essential oil total in your diffuser and leave the room door open so they can leave if they want. I highly recommend using a high quality oil and not one that you got off of Amazon or from a grocery store. So that makes a really big difference because most of those are adulterated or fake. So just keep that in mind. All right, you guys, that is all the time I have for today. If I didn't get to your question, make sure you join the membership group. If you're not a part of that yet, we do have several payment plans options available, but definitely check out and become an Essential Oil Vet member over at essentialoilvet.com/members. It's like having a vet in your back pocket, and I am here for you guys. All right, guys, I'll be back next week. Same time, same place, 7 p.m. right here on Facebook, and I'll see you then. Bye.